Goose Green is a settlement in Lafonia, on East Falkland, in the Falkland Islands. Opposite Goose Green, on the eastern shore of Darwin Harbour, lies the wreck of the Garland. The Garland was a three-masted, 578-ton steel bark built in Liverpool in 1865. She was 171 feet in length, 27.7 feet wide and 17.8 feet deep. The Garland put into Stanley on the 6th of March 1900, flying a Chilean flag under the command of Captain H. Maya, together with a crew of 16, while on passage from Hamburg to Talcahuano, Chile. Amongst her cargo were jars of acid. Some of these jars had been damaged during the voyage, and were leaking, which had caused extensive damage to the bottom plates of the vessel, and after inspection, she was condemned as unseaworthy. In September 1910, the Garland was towed from Stanley by the tug Samson to Darwin Harbour to be used in connection with the canning factory, which was opened in 1911 at Goose Green, and was extremely successful for 9 years. It absorbed a large proportion of surplus sheep, but during the slump of the post-war years, the factory suffered serious losses, and in 1921 it closed down. By 1912, the Garland was being used at Goose Green as a floating hulk to store coal. In October 1919, her owners, the Falkland Islands Company Limited, reported that she had become useless as a hulk and was abandoned. 3 years later, she broke her moorings and drifted to where she lies today, on the eastern shore of Darwin Harbour, across the water from Goose Green. In October 1966, divers discovered the demi-woman figurehead, which had long since fallen off and lay covered in silt. The figurehead was taken to Stanley and was restored by the then museum curator, John Smith. The Garland's figurehead can now be seen on display in Stanley's historic dockyard museum on the Stanley waterfront. From a bird's-eye view, you can still see all three masts. The mizzen mast and main mast can be seen on the deck, although somewhat camouflaged by the birds, and the foremast can be seen in the water leaning against the starboard side. As the plates on her hull rust away, it allows us to peek inside and see what remains of her lower deck. On the bow of the Garland is what looks to be a pump-action windlass, which allowed up to 4 men to raise the anchor on a ratchet system. Looking through the open hatch, you can still see the metal ladder going down to the lower deck. The Garland is now home to various grasses and bird life, and the cormorants are making good use of both upper and lower decks. Here we can see the base of the main mast, and behind that, the capstan, which is looking a little worse for wear. On the left of the video, we can see the mizzen mast, partially hidden by the grass growing on the deck. Looking down through missing decking, we can also see the base of the mizzen mast and some of the internal structure of the Garland. If you have enjoyed this video, please press the like and subscribe button down below.